Let me ask you something that nobody ever asked you growing up. Who decided what your life should look like? Who told you what success means? What a good job is? What a safe choice looks like? Because I promise you, it wasn't you. You were handed a blueprint before you were old enough to question it. And the scariest part? Most people follow that blueprint their entire lives and never once stop to ask who drew it. My name is Andrew, and today I'm going to show you something that once you see it, you cannot unsee it. I'm going to show you exactly how you were programmed to be average, why it happened, how it still controls you right now, and most importantly, the exact mindset shift that breaks it permanently. Stay until the end, because the last part is what nobody talks about, and it's the only part that actually changes anything. Think back to when you were 6 or 7 years old. You walked into a classroom for the first time, full of energy, full of questions, full of ideas that made zero sense but felt exciting anyway. You wanted to talk, move, explore, create. And what happened? You were told to sit down, raise your hand, wait your turn, stay in line, don't interrupt. Now, I'm not saying teachers are the enemy. They're not. But look at what that environment was actually training you to do. It was training you to wait for permission before acting, to seek approval before speaking, to measure your value by a letter grade assigned by someone else based on their definition of intelligence. And every single day, for 12 years straight, that training got deeper. The kids who questioned things too much? Difficult. The kids who thought differently? Distracted. The kids who didn't fit the mold? Problem. And the kids who followed every rule, scored every point, checked every box? Gold stars. Honor roll. College recommendations. America tells you it rewards originality, but the system that raises you rewards compliance. And by the time you graduate, the programming is complete. You don't even feel it anymore, because it doesn't feel like a cage. It feels like common sense. So you graduate, and the next script gets handed to you automatically. Get a degree, get a job, get a salary, get a house, get comfortable. And comfort, this is where it gets dangerous. Because comfort is the most sophisticated trap ever built. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't alarm you. It doesn't scream at you to wake up. It just wraps around you slowly, like a warm blanket in a burning house. Think about the average American right now. Wakes up tired, commutes to a job they don't love, works for a company they don't believe in, comes home exhausted, watches Netflix for 2 hours, goes to sleep, repeats, and on Friday they feel relief. Not joy, relief. Relief that the week is over. Relief that they survived another 5 days. That's not living. That's coping. But here's the thing. The system doesn't just allow this. It actively encourages it. Because average people are predictable. Predictable people are controllable. And controllable people keep the machine running smoothly. You consume what you're told to consume. You vote how fear tells you to vote. You buy things to fill an emptiness that the system itself created. And every time you almost wake up, every time you feel that quiet voice saying, there has to be more than this, the system hands you something to dull it. A promotion, a new phone, a long weekend, a sale at Target. Just enough to keep you satisfied. Never enough to make you truly free. I want to tell you about a guy named Daniel, 31 years old, software engineer in Austin, Texas. By every measurable standard, successful, 6-figure salary, nice apartment, new car, good credit score. His parents were proud. His LinkedIn looked impressive. His coworkers respected him. And every single morning, he woke up with a feeling he couldn't explain. Not depression, not anxiety, just this quiet, persistent feeling that he was living someone else's life. Like he was an actor who had memorized lines perfectly, but had never once read the whole script. One night, he's sitting alone in his apartment. 11 p.m. Laptop open. Another work email. And he just stops. He opens a notes app and writes one question. If nobody was watching, if no one would judge me, if money wasn't the issue, what would I actually do with my life? And he stares at that question for 45 minutes. Because he realizes he has no answer. After 31 years of doing everything right, he has no idea who he actually is outside of the system's definition of him. That moment right there, that terrifying, uncomfortable, completely silent moment, that is where transformation begins. Not in a motivational video, not in a book, not in a course. In the moment you get radically, uncomfortably honest with yourself. And here's what Daniel did next. And this is the part that actually matters. He didn't quit his job the next day. He didn't move to Bali. He didn't post a dramatic life update on Instagram. He got quiet, and he started asking better questions. Brain Act 4, breaking the program, 8 to 11 o'clock. Here's what nobody tells you about breaking the system. It's not loud. It's not dramatic. It doesn't happen in one moment. It happens in small, deliberate decisions that most people around you will never notice and never understand. The first shift, stop outsourcing your thinking. Every opinion you hold right now, examine it. Where did it come from? Did you choose it? Or was it handed to you? Your beliefs about money, success, relationships, what's possible for someone like you. Most of them were installed before you were 16 years old, by parents who meant well, teachers who followed a curriculum, a culture that needed you to fit a specific role. Start asking, is this actually true? Or is this just what I was taught to believe? That question alone will rewire more in your brain than 10 years of passive motivation content. The second shift, get comfortable being misunderstood. The moment you start thinking differently, people will notice. Your friends will think you're going through something. Your family will worry you're making a mistake. Your coworkers will call you unrealistic. This is not a sign that you're wrong. This is a sign that you're moving. Average is loud in its opinions about people who choose different, because your growth is an unconscious reminder of their stillness. Don't argue. Don't explain. Don't try to bring people along who aren't ready. Just keep moving. The third shift, replace approval with accountability. The system trained you to need external validation to feel worthy. A grade, a like, a compliment, a promotion, someone telling you that you did good. Breaking free means building an internal standard. Not arrogance, not ego, but a clear, personal definition of who you are and what you stand for. That doesn't shift based on who's watching. Ask yourself every single day, did I live by my own standard today? Not your boss's standard, not your parents' standard, not society's standard, yours. The fourth shift, make failure your data, not your identity. The system taught you that failure is shameful, that it means something is wrong with you. That's why most Americans stay in the same job, the same relationship, the same zip code their entire lives. Not because they're incapable, because the fear of failing publicly feels worse than the certainty of staying stuck privately. But every single person who has ever built something real failed constantly, visibly, sometimes spectacularly. The difference is they treated failure like information. That didn't work. What does that tell me? What do I do differently next? That's it. That's the entire mindset shift around failure. Data, not identity. So what actually happens when you break the program? Let me tell you what Daniel's life looks like today, 2 years after that night in his apartment. He still works in tech, but now he works for himself. He makes less money than he did at his corporate job, but he wakes up with a clarity he never had before. He knows exactly why he's doing what he's doing. He knows who he's building it for. He knows what he stands for. And that alignment between who you are and how you live, that is the thing the system can never give you. No salary, no title, no follower count. Nothing external can replicate the feeling of living a life that is actually, genuinely yours. Now, I'm not telling you to quit your job tomorrow. I'm not telling you to blow up your life. I'm telling you to start asking different questions, because the system doesn't lose you in one dramatic moment. And you don't break free in one dramatic moment either. You break free, one honest question at a time. Here's the truth they never put on a poster in school. You were not born average. You were not born to commute, comply, consume, and retire. You were born with a specific capacity for thought, for creation, for impact, that is completely unique to you. But that capacity only activates when you stop living by someone else's script. So here's your one action from today. Tonight, open your notes app. Write this question down. If nobody was watching and nothing could fail, what would I actually do? And then sit with it. Uncomfortably. Honestly. Because that discomfort you feel, that's not fear. That's the program breaking. And that's exactly where your real life begins. If this hit different, share this video with one person who needs to hear it. And I'll see you in the next one.